Hey guys, thanks for watching another episode of Teaching Tuesday. One of the things that I'd like to start doing, and I think it's appropriate for being on our channel, is spiritual lessons or life lessons that I've come across and I've learned through parenting. Being a parent has taught me so much about just myself. It literally is like looking into a mirror so many times, and it's also taught me a lot about my relationship with God and God's relationship with us as father and children, and so on and so on. So events have been happening where I go, man, that's such a great truth right there. And so I think I'm going to start, at least, I don't know if a series so much, but at least just start sharing some of those ideas. So the first one I'd like to talk about is the other day we bought one of those padlocks with the combination, and it was sitting on the counter, and Judah just grabbed it real quick and all of a sudden clicked it. And I didn't tell him necessarily not to do that, but he should have known. And so I told him, I said, now you can't do your next activity until you unlock it. And so he's sitting there and he's pulling and he's pulling and he's pulling. He can't do it. And he's twisting the combination around and around. And basically the conversation came about a little ways after is stopping to think about what we do before we do it. Because there are sometimes consequences to our actions that we can't just say, I'm sorry. Like him saying, I'm sorry doesn't unlock the lock. So that time where you kind of do something really without thinking. For instance, one time I was driving for a daycare company, and I went to go close the door. And as I was closing it, I was realizing I was locking the key in the door. Oh man, it's just that moment. And to make it even worse, I tried to fix it. I tried to solve the problem. And without calling, because I was too embarrassed to say that I had been doing that. I had locked the key in the door. So what I tried to do is they had the side windows that kind of popped out a little bit, and I thought maybe if I could get my hand in there and unlock the door, I'd be good to go. And so I'm pulling the window out, and I just barely get my hand in there, and in about a millisecond, pop, and one piece of glass turned into about 1 billion pieces of glass. It was right in front of me. And as soon as it happened, I realized that wasn't a good idea. And it's one of those things where I just can't fix it. Like, I'm sorry, just doesn't work. And so I was talking to Judah about this lock and how we have to think about our actions, because there are times that we say things that saying I'm sorry just doesn't make it better. And there's times that we do things without thinking that affect other people. And I believe that all of our choices, our actions, our words affect other people. And even if we can go to them and say, I'm sorry, and they forgive us, it still affects us and affects other people in a certain way. And I think that can be with the same of actions that we receive. So things that we watch, things that we see, I guess things that we hear, like things that happen to us without us thinking cause damage. There are consequences to our actions. And so I took the lock back from Judah, and I put the combination in. And then as I was doing that, I was like, man, that's just another cool teaching opportunity with him, and to show him that as much as he pulled and as much as he twisted, without knowing the one way to unlock it, he was never going to get it. And so we had this conversation about how Jesus is this one way and how he's the right combination. And no matter how many times we try to spin it, and no matter how hard we try to do right and how hard we try to do good, there's only one way to make it right again, and that's through Jesus. And now, whether you want to interpret that as in forgiveness, him forgiving us, or him giving us the power to forgive others, or vice versa, I really think that it was just this really great illustration, one little padlock about consequences, thinking before we do something, and that there's only one way to make it right and in our lives, and that's through Jesus. So I love these little teachable moments that as I'm talking or as I'm trying to explain to my children, also God kind of reveals to me that there's a bigger truth played out here. So I hope you enjoyed this. Next time you see a little padlock, think about your actions and how they might affect other people. So feel free to leave any comments down below. Your thoughts on this. I'd love to discuss them with you. If you have any questions about Jesus or anything else like that, I'd love to talk to you about that too. And I'll see you guys later.